And we're just starting. We're rolling. All right, today is June 12th. Is that right?
June 12th, and you know what that means? David Nelson's
birthday.
That's right.
And he's turning 83.
83.
Woo!
Wow.
And we are at the Hopmonk Tavern up here in Novato.
Right.
And I'm
Which
here
is
with...
where we've been doing the last few of these.
And they're so fun, dude. So nice. It's really magical.
It's great to honor him and
seeing y'all,
celebrate with them.
Backing him up, the Beat Boys. This is Jay Lane and Wally Ingram, ladies and gentlemen. And maybe just for a second, if you can say, Wally and both of y'all, like, what were just quickly, where the beginnings of your drumming things? When you were a kid, sorry.
Yeah, I was lucky enough that my mother was actually a drummer. And her older brother was like 10 years older than her, was a drummer. So she grew up in a household with music.
Did you know that, Jay? See, you learn something every.
Kind of in the
have a conversation.
Yeah, he was like a big band drummer, kind of like a dance band, like the Dorsey band was kind of like that was about the coolest thing you could do.
Your grandfather?
My uncle.
Your uncle.
My
brother.
My uncle, her brother. So she was a young girl, and the family owned a supermarket. So he would babysit her, but she grew up with the band rehearsing at the house. And so one of her first memories was the samples, which of the drum finishes, like laminate, like Black Oyster and all that. She played with those. You know. Anyway, she had a good tolerance for drumming and music.
Yeah, and that's what it takes.
She ended up being a snare drummer in the Iowa City Scottish Highlanders.
What?
Like she wore a kilt, like she was snares, drums and bagpipes on the University of Iowa Scottish Highlanders.
Wow.
So I think it was about 5. I started just hitting stuff, little pots and pans and shit. And she's like, "Stop hitting my furniture." Here, she gave me a board and her drumsticks and showed me a traditional grip and a couple cadences and stuff.
At 5. So you're Scottish. You're Scottish.
I did not know that.
I'm kind of English crossover. Yeah.
Now, Jay, when was the first time you banged a drum?
Well, I had the pots and pans thing going too, and then my mom saw that I needed to, have something else to hit. And but that's right. The parent that has the tolerance for the drums, man, that's
a key.
I mean, my mom was not a musician; she was an educator, professor of early childhood education. So she was really good when I was little. But then when I got too big for that, she was like, didn't know what to do with me. So get that boy a drum set. But I thank God she did, right? It's like,
how many drummers, the great drummers, were squashed because their parents wouldn't give them the opportunity to play or space to do it, because it's no fun being around a drummer who's just learning how to.
Now, fast forwarding, you guys banged your way into some pretty amazing folks. I mean, Jackson Browne, Bonnie Raitt, Bobby Weir, David Nelson. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Still playing pots and pans. So.
You guys on the stage? You have a pot on the stage.
I can't.
You mean
he has a pot? I have pot.
Oh yeah, pot. yeah. So okay, I'm going to ask you to. I'm going to
What you got there?
You're going to hold the Jerry thing because the first question I'm going to ask you is,
what would Jerry do?
Well, that's a good question. But here we are. It's 2026. The world's kind of nutty nut. And I got the further bus in this edition. And, Bobby's passed on to the great beyond and all that stuff. What are the drums, when you're playing them now, it's even got more relevance, I would imagine. Or like, how do you feel when you're playing it? It's almost like, do you feel like, maybe I'm projecting, but there must be sort of like more oomph underneath it. Like, we really got to keep this going. Do you have that?
I feel that for you guys, like for everybody else, for me, I had to question if I even wanted to play music anymore, because so much of my identity was wrapped up in my man there, So it took me a minute, so I'm coming around now,
We're very happy you did.
Yeah, when Jay, I talked to him and he decided to not do New Orleans, one of the shows that we've done a lot. It's a tribute to the celebration of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
And he pushed pause on it, and I totally respect that.
I just needed a break,
it made sense, I've been playing it with Bobby and with these guys for a long time. Didn't feel right to just go out there and just.
But yes, I totally agree that it's like, you know, I feel the need to continue this music. You know?
Because the further bus, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be in this edition with George Walker, who was one of the original Mary. He drove the bus in 1964. He was friends with Ken Kesey. He lived with Neil Cassidy.
I found out some interesting thing about, you know, I was adopted, right?
Mm-hmm.
My birth mother, who I did not know anything about, was actually connected kind of the Mary pranksters back in the day. You know, Mary Microgram, you know, Denise Kaufman.
I know the names, yeah.
From Ace of Cups.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No way.
She told me that we were hanging out. She brought up the guy my mom was dating. He was a bass player, not my father, but the guy my mom was dating, and said the Mary Pranksters used to go check him out doing flute. Teaching flute classes at the Academy of Sciences in Golden Gate Park.
Wow!
And that was the dude my mom was dating. And then then she drew another kind of weird coincidence because my mom, who adopted me, was one of the founders of Head Start in the Bay Area, and she started a nursery school at the First Unitarian Church on Franklin. You know, that ugly cement building on Franklin and Geary between O'Farrell and
I know exactly where that is. Yep.
Where O'Farrell has to go on.
Yeah, exactly.
She started a nursery school there and sent me there. But Denise Kaufman goes, oh yeah, the daughter of the church was separate. It was the same building, but the nursery school had nothing to do with the church. So I thought the daughter of the pastor was the girlfriend of the guy my mom was dating after my mom. So it was like, whoa, okay, that was a weird coincidence. But yeah.
So she knew you. Yeah, she knows your mom.
Yeah, well, I guess the progressive community back then was smaller than you might think. Right now, everybody's so progressive.
Everybody's so.
But yeah, back then it was probably small groups.
But that's a good segue because I don't want to keep you guys because you're going to go on in about an hour. But it's a good segue into what my vision is for this edition with the further bus. Like, what does further mean? Further means taking the light that lit the 60s, the impetus of what all those Jerry and all, you know, Bobby at 17, like they were just expressing themselves, and carrying that further for the younger generation is to me like so incredibly important. So the through line is passing this on to the kids. That to me, through my magazine, through your music, it's really important.
Well, the tribes want to gather. You know, everyone's got their face in their screen, and they're it's like when you get together and play music, and you hear real musicians playing music. I mean, of course, there's like DJ stuff and whatnot, which is a whole nother chapter of community that there's no one playing an instrument even. But this kind of music is very organic. Yeah. And when you get people together,
it's tribal.
Yeah, I think that there's something really therapeutic about it that really wants to and needs to keep going. Mm-hmm. I mean, people are probably wondering what's, you know, with the Grateful Dead, how's that going to keep going? But it just keeps going. There's a lot of ambassadors of it out there. Still.
I think the lyrics are really important personally. Like, there's a lot of cover bands, and not to diminish their reality, but like it's the lyrics that have me hang out, and hopefully the band's pretty good. But when I hear that line, you know, whatever it is, you know, I can't recite one right now, but I think
on cocaine.
Yeah.
No, at the meeting, that does not. That
Jesus, Jay. You have a kid now. Now, Stella, is that your daughter?
Lydia.
Lydia. Is she into the Dead, or what does she think?
She's 20. Well, every once in a while, she has her playlist going, and some Dead tunes will pop up. Althea comes up a lot, and I'm like, wow, you really like Althea? Yeah, I like Althea. Yeah. So we have some new chickens, and one of them's name is Althea.
Wow. So, what's Lydia studying?
She is a fiber artist at the
she graduated
School of the Art Institute of Chicago.
And Jay, do you have a kid?
She's an artist.
I have two daughters. Yeah, both artists.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so it's passing it on, passing the torch. Ride the wave, because George Hunter, when I saw him last week, he says, there's not a new counterculture coming in. He says, back in the day, it was like Ken Kesey and I we just rode this wave of like, there was a war, and we were all on that bus and we just drove it further. We're not running away from, but going into something else. And I like that whole idea of taking it further. I think it's really important. And you guys are the beat. You're like the beat of the thing. I mean, you played with some amazing cats, you know.
Yeah, it's funny because I've seen the hippies and painted buses and tie-dye shirts for days, for years. Like, yeah, okay, it's over. But you see pictures of like Further Bus, the original pictures, and it's almost like they're in color and everybody else is in black and white. Like you see all these black rim glasses and ties.
That was the Beats. That was the Beats.
The Beat generation, and they're like the only ones on the painted bus. They're all painted up and shit. Like, whoa,
very extreme.
So, like nobody was doing that, but I'm sure a lot of people were doing it. You know, it is interesting. I found out about the George Clinton Funkadelic Parliament world was like they were acid test dummies too.
Yeah,
and they fucking. That's why you look at their first album cover. They're all sitting in the park.
I told it. Maggot brain.
Maggot brain. I was going to say, yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, kids. I mean, it's about this. Shout out to the kids. You know what I mean? I don't have any kids. I have a cat, but like I do care about like. We're not getting any younger. Wavy Gravy's getting old. I mean, everybody's getting older,
Wavy Gravy's getting older.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
90, we love you, Wavy. Little wave for Wavy.
I mean, he's my hero. My daughter somehow heard from, I call her my hippie mom, Lisa Law, who was a photographer who helped run Woodstock, she would told Lydia when she was young about the Camp Wind Rainbow. And she was not old enough to go yet. And for like a few years, she goes, when can I go to Camp Wind Rainbow? Finally, I think you had to be 6, maybe, or 7. I mean, it wasn't that old. It was like, she'd been asking since she was 3 or 4. Like, when can I go to camp? And then she ended up getting into circus arts and aerials and very cool environment, Camp Wind Rainbow.
Yeah.
That, like fertile environment for creative, alternative.
And for kids to let their
every kind of kid,
freak flag fly, right? I mean, that's kind of the whole thing about the Haight-Ashbury. It was a place, it's very inclusive. I mean, it's not just the hippies, it's the gay rights now, it's the civil rights. It's about inclusion. It's about accepting no matter what you are that, hey, man, whatever floats your boat, as long as you're being kind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
The message doesn't always come down from the top.
The top. What's the top? We don't even know what that is anymore. All right. So Forever Grateful starts on June 26th at the Haight Street Art Center, which I'm helping promote, which they don't really need it. Dennis McNally and Susanna are helping curate it and everything. Awesome. And it's beautiful. It's like
an art center on the bottom of Haight Street.
Yeah, exactly. Haight Street Art Center.
Almost to Market Street.
Exactamundo. But it's not just pictures of the dead. It's the whole lineage. It's almost like an archaeological dig. Like, where did it start and who was, and then what happened? Like the whole year lineage. It's beautiful. So I just want to do a shout out for Forever Grateful, because we are forever grateful, aren't we?
There are going to be music events happening during.
Exact.
There will be during that time.
Yeah. They're closing it down on July 4th for Graham Lesh, I think, is going to be playing out front on July 4th.
Out front
of Haight Street Art Center. So I can edit that out if that doesn't happen.
Not on Masonic? Usually
no, the one down in front of the Haight Street Art Center, what they've never done.
That's where it's a hill. Where the hell are
I don't know how they're going to do it. I have no idea. Believe me, it's fresh and they're trying. Actually, let's ask you this: what was your first Dead show, y'all? How old were you and where was it?
Mine was in Madison, Wisconsin. I was not that young. I was 19.
That's pretty young.
And it was a fun one. It was like we just moved into our own house, and a bunch of my roommates were like, "We're going to the Dead," and we did acid. I was the driver in my pickup truck, like eight or 10 guys, and when we went in, it was a cold night. Met at the Dane County Coliseum, which I saw so many shows in my life. Everyone, tons of different bands, and we come out of the show, and there's lights in the parking lot, and it was a big fluffy snowflakes, and everything was. There's been no snow earlier, but everything was covered with snow,
Quiet.
and it was just like it was a very magical,
Mhm.
great night, and
Can you tell me the year? Because I'm bad at math.
1981.
Okay, perfect. Jay?
I didn't go see the Dead until after I got the gig with Bob Weir.
Oh. I
So-
thought they sucked. I was into punk rock, actually.
Well, I grew up in San Francisco, so
Yeah.
you know, I didn't. All my friends were into like Earth, Wind, and Fire, Parliament, and you know, Tower of Power and shit like that.
Yeah.
Or urban scene, and the only Deadheads I ever saw were like, you know, the scraggly looking bastards that were lining up for the Warfield to go see Jerry Band. It just wasn't my scene, you know.
Yeah.
And then in the '80s at least, and then when I got the gig with Bob, and then I saw the Grateful Dead was coming to the Oakland Coliseum, and I was like, dude, yeah, we give some tickets. So I went with my buddy, my one buddy that knew all about it. He goes, dude, just come with me in the house. Here's what we're gonna do. We got tickets and passes. First thing we're gonna do is we'll go take the tickets and trade them for weed in the lot. Then we'll use the passes to get in the show. It's like, okay, cool, all right. So we did, but
Awesome.
then we didn't have any seats. So I was like, we were just kind of walking around. I thought I was going to get another chance. And then I did. So Bob invited, he goes, oh, we're playing at Shoreline on Sunday. I said, oh, cool. We got there at 7 p.m. The shit was over, man. I didn't know Sunday shows started.
Daytime. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Now, what year is this? I'm bad at math.
94.
94. All right. Wow. And did you both you had a great experience because of the snowflakes, apparently.
Pretty great, except one of my buddies used a beer bottle to clean off my windshield.
Yeah.
So for years it scratched like it was
Yeah.
Beer
So
bottle.
like,
Wow.
it's like, oh, good idea. Like like the bottom of it is serrated.
Yeah.
So I drove all the way to Los. I spent like I probably drove that truck 100,000 miles looking through this scratched like thing. That was not
Etching. It's an etching,
the
I think.
best part of the memory, but
Yeah.
it was a good it was a great experience.
Wow. All right. And I'll leave you with this and then go take a nap or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, we'll see.
This is the Hate Street Voice magazine. I do have a little radio show. It's a podcast. I just don't like that word. What would you like to say to the hate community, Hate Ashbury, and pretty much communities everywhere? You know, just about like the state of the world, and we all know it's pretty wackadoodle out there. But what would you like to say to everybody?
Pick up the trash.
No, it's true. Bobby said when I asked him that, he said, "You found your home. Now keep it clean and make it pretty."
Yeah,
It's
that's a good one.
That's exactly what he said. So you're on the same wavelength.
That's true. Yeah, respect your street. You know.
Yeah.
You know, live on the street, like just respect life and live life to its fullest. You know.
Yeah. And as Jerry would say, have fun. Because Wavy Gravy said, when you lose your sense of humor, it's just not fun anymore.
Have a good time all the time, but not too much.
I love you people. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Linda.
you, Linda.
Yay. All right.
Yay.
That's it. Peace. Jay, do I get a piece? There it is. All right. Love you.